Hey everyone, welcome back to the Mass Retirees Weekly Update. Today's Friday, June 23rd. I'm Sean Duhamel. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining with us again this week. I have 4 different news items to report to you. None of these items are interrelated in any way, shape, or form other than the fact that they all impact public retirees and in a good way. So first and foremost, in terms of the cost of living adjustment, or more specifically, the approval of the additional 2% COLA for FY23. We have 1 week left before the deadline hits on next Friday, June 30th, is the deadline for local acceptance of the additional 2% COLA. As all of you should know by now, state and teacher retirees received this benefit almost a year ago. It began on July 1st of 2022 at the beginning of FY23. However, across the 102 local retirement systems, because of the provisions in state law that require local adoption of new benefits or new costs that would be borne by the municipalities or local retirement systems, there is a 2-step local approval process. Step 1 is approval of the local retirement board. And across the 102 local systems, we now have approval of 78 of the local retirement systems. In addition to approval of the retirement board, we also need approval of the local legislative authority. In a city, it is the city council and a mayor. In a town, it would be the select board. In a county system, it is 2/3 of the select boards of the towns that participate in that county system. Now, as I said, we have 78 systems that have approved it. Of those 78 systems, we now have 69 local communities that have fully adopted the additional 2% COLA, which would bring it up from 3% to the 5% COLA. It's a one-time benefit for FY23. And again, if the vote is not taken to approve this benefit by a week from today, June 30th, the clock strikes midnight, approval process is over. Anyone who has not yet approved it, unfortunately, they've run out of time. So we are continuing to work with our local retirement board members as well as local retirees in several communities and several county or regional systems across the state to get this over the finish line in the remaining 7 days that we have left on the clock. Now, over the past couple of days, we've received some really good news. First, out in Hampden County in the Springfield area, Hampden County, through the direction of their chairman and our regional vice president, retired firefighter Carl Schmalzy from the town of Agawam. And Carl is the chairman of the Hampden County Retirement Board. Carl has really spearheaded the efforts in Hampden County to get the 2/3 approval or get approval from 2/3 of the towns that make up the Hampden County Retirement Board. Now, the additional benefit for Hampden County retirees is the fact that Hampden County has an $18,000 COLA base. So this is a pretty significant increase for the retirees from the Hampden County system. So I want to congratulate Carl. I want to thank Carl and his fellow board members out in Hampden County for the extraordinary work that has taken place over a number of months to get this over the finish line and provide these fantastic outcome for his local retirees. Now, down on the South Coast in the town of Fairhaven, we also received notice just on Wednesday afternoon or early Thursday morning that Fairhaven has also approved the additional 2% COLA benefit. So I want to thank the members of the Fairhaven retirement system as well as the local officials for doing right by their retirees. Now, we still have 2 large county systems that are in various stages of getting the additional benefit adopted. Down on the South Shore, where I'm originally from, my friend Tom O'Brien, who is the county treasurer for Plymouth County, has been working very closely with a number of retirees from the Plymouth County system, going town by town across the county for the last couple of weeks, getting approval. They are now within 4 communities of hitting that 2/3 threshold. Contained in today's email message is a list of the 8 communities that have scheduled Board of Selectmen meetings for next week that have the additional 2% COLA on the select board agenda for either Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday night of next week. If you see the town that you happen to live in listed in today's email message from us, please take the time to contact the local select board. Even if you are a retiree from another community, a retired teacher, retired state employee, as we have continued to say, and this has been the motto of our association going all the way back to our founding in 1968, we are all for one, one for all. Retirees have to stick together. You have to look out for one another. And you can't turn a blind eye to helping each other at either the local or the state level, because the only way we're going to continue to protect your benefits and enhance your benefits is by working together at times like this. So we're very confident that in the case of Plymouth County, we're probably going to get to the point of the additional 4 communities that are needed to get this over the hump and approve this before next Friday's deadline. Now, in Worcester County, we're aware of the fact that Worcester County officials, led by Chairman Kevin Blanchette, who used to be a member of the House of Representatives, he is the retired executive director of Worcester County or Worcester Regional. He's also the chairman of the retirement board. He and his fellow board members have been working across Worcester County to get this approved, again, by next Friday's deadline. Unfortunately, we don't know exactly where they stand. The retirement board has not released that information in terms of which communities in Worcester County have approved or not approved the benefit. So we're hopeful that Worcester, very similar to Plymouth, will get this over the finish line by the deadline next week. So I want to again thank those retirement board members from across the state who have gone above and beyond for several months now to help their local retirees and get this over the finish line by the deadline. Now at the state level, we're going to continue to work with the legislature. Frank and I had a very productive meeting with State Treasurer Deb Goldberg earlier this week on a number of items, including the state and teacher COLA base was something that was discussed. We're going to continue to put every effort into increasing benefits at the state level for state retirees and teachers, as well as continuing to work with our local retirement board members to gradually and incrementally increase your COLA benefits going forward to make sure that the success of our retirement systems through your investments are being shared appropriately with retirees. Now, in terms of shifting gears, let me talk just quickly about health insurance, specifically health insurance that comes through the Group Insurance Commission. As you all know, the GIC just recently completed its open enrollment period. That followed the procurement process. There were a change in some of the insurance plans offered by the GIC. And I know that there has been a migration amongst retirees and active employees from one plan to another that will take effect on July 1st, just a little bit over a week from now, a week from tomorrow. If you have changed plans, you should either have already received or you will receive over the next couple of days your new insurance cards. However, insurance cards have only been mailed to retirees or active employees who are in a new plan. So if you are currently in, for instance, the Unicare optional Medicare extension plan, and you have not made any changes going into the next fiscal year, you will not receive a new card. Your current card is valid going forward. Now, from time to time, the insurance company may send you a new card for different reasons, but you should not anticipate getting a new card in the mail. The same applies to the pharmaceutical benefits. If you are currently a Medicare enrollee under the GIC and you're enrolled in CVS SilverScript, which is the pharmaceutical provider, you will not receive a new card. Your current card will remain valid into the next fiscal year. However, if you've switched from a non-Medicare plan into the Medicare plan going forward, or if you are a non-Medicare retiree or an active employee insured through Express Script, which is the current non-Medicare pharmacy provider, as of July 1st, CVS will be your new provider. You will be receiving, or you may have already received, a new pharmacy benefits card from CVS. So I hope this makes sense. I know we've been getting a lot of calls from members who switched plans, who are getting a little bit nervous or concerned that you hadn't received your card yet. I spoke with GIC Executive Director Matt Vino just on Wednesday of this week, and he assured me that those cards had been mailed out and retirees and employees should be receiving them over the coming days. So you will be fully covered as of July 1st with no hiccups in the process. However, if we get into late next week, approaching the end of June, and you still have not received a card and you've switched plans, give Cheryl Stillman or Nancy McGovern or myself a call. We can check into it for you. But again, if you have not made any changes to your insurance, you should not expect to get a new card. Your current card will remain valid. Now, moving on to another topic, and this just very quickly. You'll see in today's email blast that came out this morning from me an update on the Social Security windfall elimination provision and the government pension offset. Earlier this week, Massachusetts Congressman Richie Neal refiled his WEP reform proposal. Unfortunately, that legislation did not pass at the end of last year, so he has refiled that bill for the new congressional session. We continue to urge Congressman Neal to include a reform of the government pension offset along with the WEP. So we're going to continue to work with him and his staff in the hope of getting that done over the coming weeks and months. That being said, as we report in the July newsletter, which all of you should have by now, we have a pretty lengthy report on the current status of Social Security along with WEP and GPO. We do not anticipate any type of reform or repeal legislation that solely focuses on those issues having any realistic likelihood of being acted upon during the current congressional session. Unfortunately, I want to be completely upfront and honest with everybody. We will be very surprised, and pleasantly surprised, I should add, if that legislation were to move forward during the current session. As we report in the current newsletter, we believe the most realistic and likely path forward for WEP and GPO finally being addressed by Congress will be through a larger reform or overhaul of Social Security as a program as a whole. That process has to take place in the foreseeable future. We're going to be reporting in the coming editions of the newsletter on some of the specifics that are being talked about in terms of Social Security as well as Medicare reform, but we do not envision a standalone WEP or GPO piece of legislation having any likelihood of moving forward. But we're going to continue to work on this. It is very important that we continue to put the pressure on Congress. We're very thankful that legislation continues to be filed, whether it be full repeal legislation or reform legislation. Regardless of the likelihood of these bills moving forward, the end result is that they are putting pressure on Congress to act, and at some point they're going to be forced to act. And it will be most likely very similar to 1983, which was the last major reform of Social Security 40 years ago, almost to the day. But that pressure to reform the program continues to mount, continues to build, and we're going to continue to work behind the scenes to keep the pressure on, but also to develop realistic proposals that can be included as part of a larger omnibus bill when that day arrives. We can't sit back and not do our homework, so to speak, in the interim, or we're going to be caught short when that day finally arrives, when Congress decides to finally act. Now, lastly, Governor Maura Healey has asked for our assistance in promoting a new initiative to bring in part-time road test examiners through the Registry of Motor Vehicles. There's a new driver's license law on the books in Massachusetts that is going to begin to be implemented this summer and into the fall, and the registry is in need of additional road test examiners to help fill that need. The details of the program are contained in today's email message, along with a link to the state website for you to get more information. And if you are interested in applying, you can do so through the website. So we're very happy to assist the governor's office. This is really a win-win. It provides the Commonwealth with needed seasoned public service professionals to fill this void, and also provides the opportunity for our members to remain involved and to make a little bit of extra money to supplement your retirement income, which is certainly nothing wrong with that these days. So again, I'm going to sign off for this week. The next update will take place on Friday, July 7th. In the meantime, please enjoy your Independence Day weekend. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Enjoy the beginnings of summer. I hope you and your family are all doing well, and we will be back to you again in 2 weeks. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.